One of the best ways you can empower people is push decision-making to the employee or the person who is closest to the customer or who is closest to the constraint.
What's one of the worst questions that you can ask in an interview? Tell me about yourself. It has nothing at all to do with the job and what you're looking for. Now you just have a person that you can stand around the coffee pot when they get hired and talk about more stories that y'all relate to.
Hey,
How about that 3PX sign right there?
3PX. Can I tell people welcome?
Go ahead.
Welcome to the 3PX show.
Yes, welcome. We're glad to have you this morning.
Now, do you want to tell them?
Hey, we got a new sign, 3PX. Look at that. That looks so fantastic. Does it not? You know, just all of a sudden came out of nowhere. I have no idea how it
just come out of nowhere.
It did. It's top secret.
It was top secret.
It was.
Okay. That was the worst cold open ever. Let me just say, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Welcome back or listening. And if this is your first time, hopefully you enjoy the show and you'll come back. And if you've been here before, it's because you enjoy Wayne. We cleared that up in a previous episode. Yeah. So let's get kicked off. And we do have a new sign. It gets brighter and dimmer and all that. We think we've got it in the right spot.
Quentin's got the remote over there, so it'll bright up and lower down.
I've never hung anything so low in my life.
I'm sure.
We're decorating for Christmas. So down in the my in-laws' apartment, you know, in the basement area. So they're doing all these decorations, and they got the Santa Claus, like this beautiful picture of Santa Claus, and it's like for some reason my father-in-law hung it like really high. So Landy comes down there and she's ranting and raving about how this is too high and you got to fix it and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's perfect.
You're right.
Perfectly eye level. I think that's great. Leave it.
So if it's perfect for you, obviously for your stepfather, I mean, he's shorter than I am, so he had to have a stepladder to get on that one.
Oh, he messed it up bad.
He did.
For his eye level. It's like he hung it specially for me.
He wants you to come down and visit him more.
I know.
Dude,
you know what we did last night for Landy's birthday?
What did you do?
Shout out to I think it's called the Great Big Game Show. Have you heard of this thing?
I have not.
Okay. At Opry Mills Mall, it's called like the Great Big Game Show, something like that. And you go in and you make reservations. You can book time. You can have up to 12 people. I'll send Quentin the video so you can be. People are watching it right now.
All right.
Magic. So you can get 12 people, and it's literally a game show. They do all these mini games and big spin the wheel type stuff. So for Landy's birthday, we had like 10 of our best friends. Yeah. And we did guys versus girls, and it's like you're in a real game show.
Wow.
Dude, it was so much fun.
That sounds like it was.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty neat.
You and Steph got to do that.
Yeah.
When your friends come up from Mississippi and Memphis and all that, when you get your people up, bring the kids.
The game show.
Dude, it was awesome. The Great Big Game Show. You guys would have a blast. Man, we were cutting up laughing.
I'm sure you were.
It was so good. Yeah, it was really good. It was a ton of fun. So yeah, great. Shout out to the Great Big Game Show. And Troy, our host, 5 stars for Troy. It's like, because if you get a good host, I think that makes the difference.
It does.
He was high energy and lots of fun and all that kind of stuff. And we had a good group. We were cutting up, dude.
He probably enjoyed it too, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm sure he did. All right. Nobody listening cares about that. So let's get started. You got to, I guess it's still a good shirt. IDS. Okay. Well, WWW. What's Wayne wearing?
What's Wayne wearing?
Why do you not like the shirt?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's a little normal for you. Usually you come in with like these slogans and things I've never heard of before. And it's like, oh yeah, we do that.
It's IDS.
I know. Talk about it.
Identify, discuss, and solve. It's part of our EOS process when we have our meetings on a weekly cadence for our team. Everybody has to go through the IDS during the meetings, and you talk about the issues that you have, and you just got to identify them. Everyone discusses it and then solves it. How do we figure it out? How do we take care of that issue? And so it's a big part of what our meetings are, and we do it every week.
We call it IDSing. And I think that's kind of an EOS terminology anyways, IDSing, identify, discuss, solve. So this is whenever you're having what we call in the EOS world L10 meetings, this could be your weekly check-in with your team or whatever it is, whatever you call it in your world. but IDSing is just the EOS terminology for how you are solving problems inside the business.
Right.
It could also be opportunities, because we use it for opportunities, not just solving problems. So if there's an opportunity to advance the business somehow, then we IDS those things too. But to be honest with you, 98% of the time we're solving problems.
Yeah, and if the meeting is a 90-minute meeting, it's probably 60 minutes of IDSing. So it's the bulk, it's the major part of the entire meeting.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too, and then I forgot because I got into the.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could feel that. That's why.
Yes, we spend the healthy majority of the time IDSing, and we've been IDSing now for several years.
Yeah.
And there's always something to IDS. Always. If you walk into a meeting, forget if you're on EOS or not. If you walk into a meeting and there are not problems to talk about and solve, that's the problem you need to IDS for right there.
There's always going to be something to talk about and solve.
Yes, always. So in a nutshell, what IDS basically means is identify, which is you don't want to just identify the problem. Identify the root cause of the issue.
Right.
So for example, if sales are down, sales being down is what we need to IDS. But sales being down, that's not the root cause of the problem. What is causing sales to be down? Conversion rates are down. Why are conversion rate? 5 whys. Shout out to the 5 whys. Why are conversion rates down? Because contact rate is down. Why is contact rate down? Well, we don't know. That's the root cause. Okay. Yeah. When you hit the I don't know, when you hit the, now you dig in. So now once you identify the root cause, now you talk about solutions. You're discussing for possible solutions. What can we do? How can we fix it? Who can own this? And all this different stuff. Then once you align on, hey, we think we got a good idea. We think this will solve it. Now the solve is, okay, what is someone going to do when they leave this room to solve that issue?
Yeah, the ownership part.
Yes. And that gets converted into a to-do. That's where the accountability comes in.
Right.
So somebody says, okay, contact rate is down because we're not calling, emailing, and texting leads in the first 8 hours or something, let's say, right? Okay, my to-do is I am going to leave here. I'm going to ensure, I'm going to develop reporting. I'm going to make sure that everyone is calling, emailing, texting within 8 hours, business day, yada, yada. This is how I'm going to do that. That gets converted into a to-do. And then the next week, when the person comes back, you follow up. Did you do that thing? Yes or no? And you move on.
Yep.
But you do that over and over and over and over again.
For every issue.
For every issue. The same way. IDS, you IDS every problem the same exact way.
And I'd say most of the time, there's usually 10 issues on the board at any given time.
At least.
Yeah, at least. In the early days, there were a lot more than that. It's a lot less now, but there's always issues. Like you said, if there is not an issue on the board, then that's the issue. And then you got to figure out what it is because people aren't communicating at that point.
And you know what we do really good in those meetings, IDSing, that I love? These are some of my favorite conversations. We IDS people issues. We IDS RPRS issues, which stands for right person, right seat. If you have an RPRS issue, that means you have someone who is either they're the right person in the wrong seat, or they are the wrong they're not the right person in the wrong seat.
They're not the right person at all.
I'd have got myself all types of confused started. Okay. Yep. But something in right person, right seat is wrong.
Yes.
And we have those conversations with people across the whole organization.
Yeah.
So it's the leaders in the room talking about how they can support each other with RPRS issues. And because solving people issues, if you can solve those issues really well, man, that solves a lot of other problems across the business.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you fill some time while I take a drink of coffee?
Can I fill some time? Well, so we got through the IDSing. So now we got it on the shirt. That's what is Wayne wearing. So I'm happy to have that.
Okay.
I'm glad we discussed all that and it probably fits a little bit into what we're going to talk about today too, right? Yeah.
I'll never ask you to fill time again.
Okay. I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
I should have done that to you.
It's terrible, wasn't it?
It was.
Well, thank you.
Awkward silence is never good for a podcast.
Yeah.
So, but also awkward words are just as bad.
Well, You just threw it out there. So
I know.
I should have just started going with episode 16.
Oh.
Look at that.
Okay. Man, Quentin's going to get mad. This was another one where I'm like, okay, I can do this in 30 minutes. But then I promised somebody on TikTok that I would address a comment that they made.
Yeah.
So when I was ranting, I rant a lot on this podcast. But so when I was ranting, I said, if people are leaving you for $1 an hour to another job, you don't have a wage an hour problem. You have a culture problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there was a couple of folks who disagreed with that. And one person, pretty passionately, like a dollar an hour means a lot. And I'm not a keyboard warrior. Is that what they call it? I'm not like a keyboard warrior. I'm not going to argue with anybody over social media. I'm not. I'm going to respect everyone's opinion. And then when you can't fight back and I have a microphone, that's when I'll argue.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. But I do respect the opinion because I get it. Times are tough and an extra dollar an hour can mean a lot to people. But the spirit of what I was trying to say is, if the only thing that differentiates your company from your competition is $1 an hour, where someone is willing to leave your organization for $1 an hour, you got a lot bigger problems than $1 an hour.
Right.
You got to you should look at your benefits package. You should look at your work-life balance. You should look at your training and development program. You should look at your growth, which we're going to talk about in the next episode. So you don't want to miss next episode. Like your career growth progression. You got to look at how your leaders lead, your core values, the overall culture and the environment of your operation. It is not about that dollar an hour. I don't care how much milk costs today. It is not about the dollar an hour. Nobody wants to leave their job and have to go learn a whole new environment, work around all new people, learn a new system, have to go through training again, all the awkwardness, last check, get direct deposit, set up again with a whole new thing. Nobody wants to do that.
Right.
But managers are going to sit in their office and blame their turnover over $1 an hour and never turn the mirror on themselves. Shout out to the last episode, self-awareness. Never turn the mirror on themselves and say, what can we do differently where we're not losing people over 25 cents, 50 cents, $1 an hour?
Exactly. There goes that awkward silence again.
That's fine.
You were just in your rant. So, yeah, I like that.
Sometimes,
but go ahead.
I know. Sometimes you just got to let me go.
Well, that's what I did, is just kind of let you run with it. So,
but I'm passionate about this one.
Yeah. But I do agree
really
with you on that
passionate
because, you could easily match the $1 an hour, but it's not really even about that, not about the matching part of it because, if people do decide to leave, they're leaving for a lot more than just $1. I mean, and that's what your whole point is. It's not at all about the dollar. If it was about that, then why don't they come to you and talk to you and discuss it and say, hey, man, I got somebody else coming and they're after me and, they're going to offer me $1 more. There's a chance that we'd probably pay the $1 more to keep that good person. But sometimes it's just, again, it's not about that at all. So, yeah, I get it.
It would shock you to know how many times I've said no to those requests in the last several years.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we don't lose people. Not for that.
Yeah.
Now, there are some that I have said yes to, where if it makes sense, but I don't just say yes. Before we have that conversation, we go through market analysis. I'll look at the entire department, what everyone else is making. Like, I'll make it about the process, not just, do I like this person? Do I want to give them $1 an hour?
But granted, what's happened over the past 4 years for us too on this though is we have really leveled up on that part. We always paid well, but we never had that right system. Now all those kind of things are in place. The process, our wage and benefits are very leveled up, very competitive for the area. So I don't think that's an issue at this point.
Plus profit bonuses.
Yeah.
I should start calling them budget bonuses.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is at this point. Oh, dude, and we got new mics.
And
new
we
mic
have
stands.
new mics. Look at that. None of the awkward arms sitting over here. Yeah.
I know. It was when you've never done this before and you get that, you don't realize you just think that's how it is. And then you get something like this and it's like, oh man, this is so nice.
Yeah.
We'll give Quentin a good still shot, like of the new mic.
What's up, Quentin? Woo, right here.
Okay. Hang in there. Keep listening. The episode's going to get better, I promise. Okay. So we're going to talk about today. This is kind of a hot topic. It came out of a one-on-one with with our director of HR, with Patricia. She gets mentioned way too much on these podcasts because we We deal with people issues. When you love people, you get involved with people, you get involved with people issues. And so every day I'm involved in people issues. So we're talking last week, and I'm talking about retention and all that kind of stuff. And I will say, a year ago, you and I have talked about this. It was a little over a year ago now. Over half of our team, half of our employees in operations had been with the company for less than a year.
Right.
It was like 60% or something, because we had grown so fast. We had to catch. We hired a bunch of new people over the course of several months. And and it was a very tough time. We struggled. It was tough. That will be a podcast one day, is how do you maintain quality, speed, accuracy, on-time fulfillment when over half your organization is basically brand new now because you've grown so much. So that was very tough. But what I told the team was, I said, hang in there. I said, stick with this a year. I said, because this time next year, I promise you, we'll have 20% of our team members who've been here less than a year. Everyone will be more tenured. They'll be more, they'll have better expertise, and systems will flow better. Well, now, lo and behold, we're like 24% as of last week when I checked it. 24% of our team members have been here less than a year. So our retention in that 0 to 1 year has gotten really, really strong. We're keeping not only our most tenured people, but those new team members that come on, we've kept. So I'm ranting to Patricia because we've got a leadership connect this week that I'm preparing for, and I'm just talking about our hiring managers. How are they interviewing, asking behavioral questions? How are they doing quarterly one-on-ones? What are they doing to coach their people and develop and all that kind of stuff? So I start going through this, and I realized it was an acronym. RARE. So what we're going to talk about today, after what was essentially probably a 20-minute cold open, is rare leadership. RARE. And RARE is an acronym. So we're going to talk about rare leadership, and each of the letters stand for something, okay? The first letter in rare leadership stands for
Recognize.
Is the letter. It stands for recognize.
There you go.
Rare leaders recognize top talent.
Yes.
So before we get into all the other stuff, which is really the meat, if you're sitting across from someone and you can't see if they're a talented individual or they have the skills or they're a culture fit, you have to interpret the conversations, the interviews well, because you can mistake someone who is a great interviewer for someone who's a great performer. Right. So recognizing top talent is that's step one.
Well, I mean, especially being able to recognize it in that form, because if you're sitting across the table from someone, like you said, if they're a good interviewer, I mean, if you don't have the right person that's interviewing, that can just destroy the whole thing, because, you might have the best talent in the world and they interview terribly, but they got all the talent. I mean, you got to be able to recognize that as well. I mean, it just makes it really tough when you're the guy that's sitting across the table from them, though. So,
I never really thought about it like that. So this is what I heard you say in my own world of my own mind.
Okay.
You could have an incredibly talented person, great performer, bomb an interview.
Yeah.
Maybe they're nervous. Maybe they're not good articulating their resume into, their work experience into words or, some, company corporate language that the interviewer may feel like resonates or whatever the case is. So you call someone in for an interview and it's like, man, they're just not a good fit kind of thing for whatever reason. Might have not, but they could still, you may have missed out on a great performer because they're not a great interviewer.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, there's been times that we've hired people that, not necessarily trying to fill a position, get a warm body kind of thing, but you fill a position with someone and, they didn't interview well, but, there's something about them. And then when you get them, they knock it out of the park. And then, like you said, when you have those people that interview just really well, they answer the questions so polished. Everything is just almost too good, right? And if it's too good to be true, it probably is. And that's usually what happens is they answer it just so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole reason why we're talking about this is because you have to develop these skills, the skills we're talking about, if you want to hire people that are better than you.
Yeah.
Every leader listening to this should have a desire to hire people who are better than you are at the job that you have and the job that you could do that you're hiring for.
Exactly.
You want someone who is more skilled at doing that job than what you could do yourself. Because then you don't ever have to worry about, how many managers say this? Well, it's easier if I just do it myself.
Yeah.
It's faster if I just do it myself. Well, because you're terrible at hiring.
Yeah.
You should be hiring people who can do the job better than you. So you could take some time to train them to a level of proficiency. Now they'll be crushing it.
And most people, most managers do not want to hire someone that is better than them or smarter than them, because as long as they have it, they've got job security, they feel.
Mm-hmm.
I had a guy work for me one time in the early days, and he was good, but he ran our shipping and receiving for a while, and he never wanted to train anyone, and kept asking, well, why don't you train this person? Well, I don't have time. I can do it. I'd rather do it myself. But he'd go on vacation, and it would leave it would make a mess, right? Mm-hmm. And I come to find out he didn't want to hire anybody, or he didn't want to train anyone to do it, because that was just job security for him. As long as he's the only one that knew how to do it, then he was just secure in what he's doing, right? And I've always been totally against that. I want someone that can train, that can help, and the more you know, and always hire someone that's smarter than you. Don't be intimidated by it. All it's going to do is make you as a better individual if you do that. So
yep.
if you surround yourself with great people, then you're going to do great things. If your leadership level is a 7 or a 6 and you hire 4s, your leadership level is also going to go down to about a 5. But if you're a 6 or 7 and you hire 8s and 9s, then your leadership level is going to go up as well. And so, and then the whole organization goes up.
Yeah. The two player tips I'm gonna leave you with for recognize is so when you're recognizing talent, you got to know what you're looking for. So you got to name the things that you're looking for. What are the specific skills or capabilities or characteristics that you are actually looking for in someone? And I would really challenge you to not make it about hard skills like they've got 4 years of experience with Microsoft Office, or they've got 10 years of experience leading people. You're looking for someone who handles sensitive situations with care and empathy, let's say. So maybe empathy is something you're looking for. Then you're going to want to develop questions, behavioral-based questions around how can I determine if this person is an empathetic person or not, right? So you got to name the skills you're looking for. And the next thing is, I'm going to call this one out, and I hope I don't make any more enemies. I'm making enough, I feel like, sometimes when I get into this stuff. But you really got to call out your personal biases, okay? Now, I'm not talking about biases where I'm saying that you are intentionally excluding certain people from your hiring or whatever the case is. There are natural unconscious biases that we all have. Wayne lived in Mississippi for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I moved here from Mississippi. So we're talking about Mississippi. It's like I have a natural bias towards Wayne because, man, we both lived in Mississippi for a little while. So it's like I naturally start to like Wayne. Man, we're talking about Mississippi, and you remember this, you remember that, and all that kind of stuff. That has nothing to do with how good you will be at the job. But then you walk away from that interview like, man, I like that guy.
Yeah.
Or the lady that you're interviewing, she graduated from the same high school that you graduated from.
No, that's automatically an in.
Yeah, now it's like, that was a great interview. Well, what made it great? I just really liked her. There was something about her.
Yeah.
Those are biases that, particularly, those are unconscious biases that are coming out in an interview, and you have to be aware of those.
Well, so what's one of the what's one of the worst questions that you can ask in an interview? And I've got one.
You tell me.
You tell me? Yeah. I would say
I don't know. You tell me.
No. Well, tell me about yourself. I mean,
Oh,
because because that's exactly where that bias comes from.
Yeah.
When you think about it, if you sit there and ask, well, hey, tell me about yourself, and they start telling, and they give this story and telling everything, man, that's
And they're
such a great guy.
drawing you in.
Exactly. Especially if you get someone that's seasoned at it, they can talk, and and people love talking about themselves and where they came from and what they do, and then it's like, oh, man, that's a great person. Has nothing at all to do with the job and what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just have a person that you can stand around the coffee pot when they get hired and talk about more stories that y'all relate to. Now it's all about, okay, well,
oh man,
me and this person didn't relate very well. Oh, but man, I really liked him. He did a great job. And this person, well, they were okay, but man, we went to the same high school. We did college or whatever it may be, whatever that connection is. That's one of the worst questions I feel like you can ask.
Do not hire people that you relate to. Hire people that are going to do great work for you.
Yeah.
Forget relatability. You're not even going to talk to them very often anyways, depending on the hiring situation. A lot of these talent acquisition specialists, hiring managers kind of thing, they're making hiring decisions for large companies. You may never even talk to this person once every 3 to 6 months.
Right.
But you're passing someone off to another department or, for a go, no-go decision on hiring based off of, I really like that person, or they were really relatable in their interview.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So number one is recognize, okay? You got to be able to recognize talent. Know the talent you're looking for, actually name it, understand where your biases could come into play, and recognize talent when you see it. The next one is attract. In rare leadership, you have to be able to attract talent. Now, we'll start with the basic stuff. You got to have a good job description.
Yep.
You got to lay out exactly what the role is, what you're specifically looking for. If you're not, if you just say, I'm hiring for customer service, well, what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does try to make sure that exactly what that day-to-day job looks like is in the job description so that you are attracting someone who wants to do that job every day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gotta fit. Especially, so the one that I think of when you mention that is sales. Everybody wants to be in sales.
Yep.
But if you have to understand what goes into the meat of the sales part of it, because you have to be a very open person. You have to be someone that can communicate extremely well. You got to be someone that's just going to be on pretty much the whole 8 hours that they're there, and not afraid to hear the word no, but still continue to build and continue to push and hit numbers. I mean, so you might want to be in sales, but the reason people want to be in sales is because, well, I get a bigger commission. I'm going to make more money if I do this and do this. And aspirations are real high, but you got to be able to tell the difference if a person can do that one, or maybe they need to be in another role, so a supportive role.
Yes. I'm trying to determine if I want to rant about this or not. Quentin could always cut it out, I suppose.
He could.
Sales is the highest paid department we have at our companies.
Mm-hmm.
Not by a little either, by a lot.
Yeah.
Sales. You're going to make more money when you work in sales.
But the demand's going to be a lot more, which is a hard thing for people to hear. To
you're
understand.
not allowed to be on your cell phone. Better not be on that cell phone. If you're watching, you're on sales. You're in that seat 8 hours a day, sometimes longer, and you are on the phone calling customers, working deals, following up with customers, working on quotes, handling some service issues, re-quoting, all the things. It is constant follow-up. You get up from your seat, you better have a good reason. It better be break time or something else. And so now people are like, oh, Steve, I wouldn't want to work in an environment like that. That's okay. I wouldn't want you to work in an environment like that either if that's not what you want to do. So there's a trade-off. Yeah. It is the highest compensated department in the company, but it has the highest, most rigorous standards for operating in that department, and they have they have goals that they have to achieve every week. And if you don't hit those goals after 2 weeks in a row, like progressive discipline starts, and it doesn't stop. Mm-hmm. So that's all got to be in the job description, man.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, high demand position.
If you just put sales, $90,000 a year, $100,000 a year, you're gonna have all kinds of people apply for that.
Oh, I want that job. Yeah.
But if you tell them exactly what you have to do, you're going to weed a lot of people out and only attract the ones who can see themselves doing that type of job day in and day out.
Yeah.
Okay. Next two things, and I'll go really quick on attract, is you've got to have a great company culture. I know that sounds cliche, but if people working at your company or who have worked at your company before are not saying great things in general about you, you're not going to attract good talent. I go on Glassdoor all the time. I used to have, at my previous job, I had my thing set to alert. So when somebody would do a review on Glassdoor, that I would get it automatically. And I'd try to figure out who the person was. I'd reach out to him. I'd call the HR rep. I'd want to smooth it over. I'd make sure that the company responded appropriately, because you can't win them all, right?
Right.
But I use it to solve problems. But not every company, not even perfect companies are going to have somebody who goes on there and gives you a 1-star review. Like, I'm not saying if they don't have 5 stars, because we certainly don't have 5 stars on Glassdoor. Google, though, our Google reviews,
got a lot of those.
We take care of customers, but even then you get some that aren't perfect. But you've got to have a great company culture, man. The only way people are going to want to come work for you is if the people who are already working for you really enjoy working for you.
Amen.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next thing is, the last thing on attract is, you have to have supervisors, managers, leaders in your organization. And this starts with the CEO, the founder, all the way down to the frontline manager. You have to have people in your organization at every level that frontline employees enjoy working for. Mm-hmm. Period. I'll do my period, hard stop thing. That's it.
Yeah, mic drop.
How are you going to attract great people if nobody likes the person that they're working for? That's why your turnover is so stinking high.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, those are like, that just says it all to there. Because, I mean, if your culture is horrible, people will talk about it outside of the business, and then people won't want to come here to work. And then that when we talked about that earlier, that dollar will make a huge difference, right?
Oh, they're out. For a dollar, they're out.
They might be out for $1 less, yes. Because, I've been in job situations before in my past where I left and took less money and was so much happier because I got out of such a toxic environment. I mean, it just happens, right? And so, you get around here, we want to have a great culture. We want to have good people and just a great focus on what we do and how we do it. But and don't have the leaders that are going to try to lead by fear and intimidation. That's the worst thing that you can have.
I was going to say, like when I came to work for you, right?
I'm not sure what you're saying about that.
I know. Initially,
yeah,
but made less money. It's just it was such a culture shock. It was such a better environment. It was a no-brainer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about our culture being bad. I'm like, man, I didn't think it was bad when you came here.
No, not at all. Not at all. So that's the first R-A. Next
is another R.
In rare. The second R is retain. This is like a continuation of the conversation that we just had. So you recognize good talent, you attract them, you hire them, everything's going good. Now they've been here for a month or two, and it's like revolving door. You can't keep them.
Yeah.
Your 90-day turnover's through the roof. Your 1-year turnover is, 80%, something like that, because you're not able to retain, the talent that you bring in. And I think a lot of this boils down to, we sell people, pie in the sky when we do interviews, and then they come to work here and it's like, man, there's no training, there's no this, there's no that. I got to wait 90 days to get into 401k. I got to wait 6 months for insurance, or, whatever it ends up being, just anything you can think of, right?
Right.
We don't tell all that stuff. And I think we have to be candid, open, and honest with people when we're interviewing. And I feel like we do a really good job of that. We are brutally honest in interviews. I have hired people at this company and I have said, look, this is a new job. I don't have a good job description for it. There's no training for it, but you've done this before. You tell me what you think it would look like at this company. How would you come into this environment and not have, training and not have, don't fool people
Right.
Tell them how it is. Don't brag about this extensive training program that you have. And then as soon as they come to work for you, you're shorthanded and they're on the cash register from day one and don't know what they're doing. Like, tell people how it is so they have a good expectation. Even if it's bad, just tell them how it is.
Hey, at least they know what the expectation is when they walk in the door.
Yes.
Right? If they think they're going to walk in the door and get some kind of a great training, 3-4 weeks or however many months and lay it out, and then 2 days later, all right, yeah, well, good luck with it.
Dude.
But that's part of the problem that happens with a lot of small companies too, I will say. I mean, because that happened to us really bad. I mean, I don't think we're that way now, but in the early days, we were growing so fast and we were so thin. We were hiring and getting people to come in and doing the best that we could to train. I mean, that's probably a topic we could probably talk about a lot on a different one, but because you're spread thin, you're trying to go and you're trying to train people, trying to give them as much information as possible, but you don't have a training program worth anything. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a matter of, in a sense, on the job that you're just going to stand beside someone or work with them a little bit. But next thing you know, they're on their own.
Yep.
And that happens all the time in a small business.
And there's nothing wrong in an interview saying, look, we don't have a great training program, but that's one of the reasons why I'm looking to hire someone like you. Yeah. I'm hoping that you can come in and that you can be a self-starter and that you can learn our system and you can help us expose deficient areas in our training and you can, help us get better at this. Like, just be honest.
Yeah. And that's a totally different way to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that third letter R is retain. You got to be able to retain talent. So go through, do you have great benefits? Are you competitive in wages? Do you have great leaders that are doing good quarterly one-on-one conversations, that are developing people, that are pushing people forward? Are you having radical candor type conversations? All those things. There's not like one silver bullet that if you do this one thing, your retention's going to go up. It's a lot of small things that you have to do well, okay? Mm-hmm. But rare leaders retain talent. And then the last letter, E, is empower. You got to empower people. Once you've hired them and they've developed a level of proficiency, you have to give them the autonomy to make some decisions on their own and determine how great they truly can be. You've got to give people authority, empowerment when they're working for you.
Wasn't that the whole reason that you bring someone on is to, if you're going to bring them on and you're going to do nothing but micromanage them to where they can't do their job, then why even hire them in the first place? You just do the job. It comes back to that person that says, well, it's just easier for me to do it. Well, then you're the bottleneck. You're the one that's holding the company back. And so I've always been a firm believer, and I probably go way too far on the other spectrum, but if I'm going to hire someone, I'm going to hire them for a specific job, and that's their job. You come in, you do it, and I'm going to get out of your way and let you do it. And the proof is in the pudding kind of thing, where they're either going to be able to do it or they're not. Now, we have to give them the resources and give them the training and give them the things that they need to be successful. But once you give them those things, those opportunities, then you just get out of the way and let them do their job. And then you're looking at the next position or the next thing that we got to work on.
Okay. One key takeaway for empowering your people. This is important. Don't hit skip or next until you listen to this, what I'm about to tell you, okay? One of the best ways you can empower people is push decision-making to the employee or the person who is closest to the customer or who is closest to the constraint, which is the problem or the issue you're dealing with. Push decision-making to that person. Number one, that's great for empowerment. But number two, you want people making decisions for you or having a seat at the table and empowered to, push back and give you their opinion at the very least on what the decision should be, who are on the front line, who see exactly what they're dealing with, who know what the issues are, who know what the customer's saying.
That's buy-in all the way. And that's exactly what you want, because a lot of them will bring it to you and ask you for the answer when they bring in the question. That's what happened when you came aboard. Everybody's coming to my office asking for the answer, and I would tell them what to do, and then they'd go back out. And like we said before, if it doesn't work out, well, that's what Wayne said. Mm-hmm. And so then I become the scapegoat. Yes. And that still happens a little bit now, but not nearly as much as it did. But you want people to come in and own it and come up. If they're going to come to you, great. but come to me with the answer as well, what you think it should be. Hey, this is my problem. Here's what I think we should do. And it may make sense. And if it doesn't, then have that conversation. But a lot of times, they're the ones, the front line, they're the ones that handling the issue, and they know a lot more about what's going on. And so a lot of times when they come with the answer, it's probably the right answer.
And you got to create the environment where people feel empowered
Yes.
to even bring you the answer.
Yes.
Or they feel empowered and safe to give you their opinion. Because a lot of them won't.
Yeah.
If they feel like you're just not going to listen or that you have another opinion, they just won't tell you at all.
That's that frontline manager. That's that senior level management as well. All that, if you hire the right management team, they're going to help and hire the right people that will come to them, and that will have the ability to come to them, because a good manager is going to allow people to come to them with criticism, allow them to come to them with the issues, and be able to take care of the issue. But if you hire someone they're not that way, and then they'll berate them, and then once you get something happens, people don't come to you anymore. They don't want to. They don't want to come to you because they're scared to come to you.
Absolutely.
If you're in an environment where people are scared to come to you, then it's not the problem over here. Again, it comes back to being a personal problem.
Agreed. All right. Before I close, any last words?
I think that's it. Hire the right people, get the right managers, and let them do their job, and just give everybody the resources that they need to be able to have the most success that they can.
Yep. That's rare. Be a rare leader. Recognize, attract, retain, and empower your team. Be a rare leader. That will help set you apart from others. So we had interview kits and questions and all that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll do a part B to this, but, or maybe we'll just do like some special reels. Maybe I'll sit on the front porch swing and do some on my own type reels.
Yeah. Do you have a
talk
front
about
porch?
some of this stuff? I do.
Okay. No, you don't.
Yes. I got a swing and everything.
Okay.
It's attached to the little ceiling and it.
Then you do that.
I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
Quentin's probably going to have to heavily edit this one, but nonetheless, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you watching or listening to the 3PX show. We love you. We appreciate you. Please engage with us on our social media, like, share, subscribe, all the things. And we can't wait to talk to you next episode. See you.
Enjoy your day. See you.